Hi, my name is Brenda Smith and I am going to lecture on fast faces. I have my granddaughters here. This is Evelyn. Can you say hi? Typical kid. And we'll start with a couple of fast faces and then I'll give you some explanation. I like to take a little water bottle with me and mist my paint. That gets it nice and wet. My brushes are laid out. Some people like to have their brushes up and some people prefer them laid down. So it's just an option. You want try it both ways and see what works best for you. Sponges make the fast faces a lot faster. And I'll hold your hair back like this. With smaller children, what I like to do is press slightly with a light pressure down and then bring it up. That keeps them from opening their eyes. If I was to go straight on, they could open their eyes. So by putting a little pressure down and then up, it keeps them from getting paint in their eyes. Older children, I can ask them, will you close your eyes, please? Thank you. And then you can do it like this. But always be prepared in case they do open their eyes that you have a little pressure down. And then this goes right there.
Mama?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to surprise you. Typically, I will ask them what they want. But for this lecture, I wanted to do a fast face. And this is one face that can be put on very quickly. And you can choose to go all the way to the hairline or just before the hairline. Some people also prefer to avoid the eyes altogether. So you can modify this to work for your event. And then you'll want to take a medium-sized brush.
Mama? Why do you like that?
I'm going to use the black. You'll see because I brought a mirror and you'll be able to look in the mirror and see. Another way you could do this with a smaller child is when you want to press and release. And then you're going to go like swish, swish, swish. And then when it gets right to here, another option, instead of going down, you can start at the eye and bring it up. If your child is a little wiggly or you're afraid.
Mama?
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you like these?
We're going to surprise you. It's going to be so pretty and so fast. You don't have to sit for very long on this one, do you? And you're being so good and still for me. How old are you now? 3 years old?
No.
4? You're not 4. You are 4. You're a big girl. There you go. And then the other option is glitter. Would you like some glitter?
Yeah.
I like to ask the kids, not all children want, have you sit down for me? Not all children want glitter, but most girls. With boys, I don't ask boys if they want glitter, but if they say, I want glitter, then I always add it. You may open your eyes, and there you go. I love the reaction when they look in the mirror. Now that's the fun part, seeing their reaction. Do you like it? Yeah, good.
You want me?
A few things I wanted to mention when you're face painting. If it's really cold outside, if you bring some gloves, that'll keep your hands a little warmer. Those are nice and tight on your hands, so it makes it easier for you to face paint with them. But yet, you can also use the sponges and your fingers will stay dry, which keeps them a little bit warmer in a cold day. So that's a little note there. Sponges, you can wash your sponges in nice hot water when you're done with them, these are very old. They last a very, very long time. So they stain, but they're still very useful. So we'll begin another one. This is Lillian. Lillian, can you say hi? To all my friends out there. And so now we'll get started on another one. Lillian, do you have a favorite color? What is your favorite color? Teal.
You know what my favorite is? My favorite is pink.
Pink, it is. Well, it's a good thing I used pink on you. All right, we're going to do teal after I do the pink, all right? So I'm going to have you scoot all the way to the front of the chair for me. Can you sit to the front of the chair for me? Come right this way. That way I can reach you. Thank you. And close your eyes, please. And here we go. It looks a little bit like I'm doing yours, doesn't it? I start out just about the same. I'm going up and I'm going down. So it looks a little bit like yours, just like what I did with the kitty cat going up, but this is going to be something different. It's not going to be a kitty cat. I wonder what it's going to be. You may open your eyes for just a moment while I get your teal ready. I'm going to add a little bit of this to it, I think, too, because that's a pretty color. Kind of blend it in. You can have your eyes open or closed, whatever's more comfortable to you right now. Okay. Your sister is admiring herself.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Admiring? She is enjoying looking at herself.
Then can I put myself in my room done?
I hope you admire yourself when you're done.
And close my eyes?
Yes, if you'd like to, or you can keep them open. I'm going to go right like this, and I'm going to press down, and then I'm going to lift up. Another trick is if you're right-handed, you might want to start at the left side. If you're having a hard time keeping them sort of even, then start with the side that is harder for you. Now I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the kitty. I'm going to go swish, a little bit more water, and swish, and going in and out. Here comes the other side. Swish, swish, swish. Come down and around.
What do you?
And when I go in my pan, I go back and forth, and then I twirl it.
Grandma?
Yes, ma'am.
I love you.
I love you too. Thank you for letting Grandma do this today.
Is it almost done?
It is almost done. This is a fast pace. And you can either do the antennas in or you can do them out. So you might try different ways. Another thing that if you have a little extra time that you can add, that I like to add to give just a little bit more, is I like to add some little dots here and some little teardrops over here. Just a name for this thing. You're pressing and releasing, pressing and releasing, pressing and releasing. The other way you could do dots is by using a dotter, which is a little sponge, and then you can dot tiny dots, or you can press and make bigger dots. The other option for making dots is using the end of your brush, so you could do this and also press with the bottom of the brush. So there's your options. The other thing with the glitter is instead of using it as a sprinkle, if you want to use just a specific spot, you could open up your glitter or use another kind of glitter. You want to make sure that your glitter is face painting glitter and not craft glitter. Craft glitter often has glass in it, and you do not want to use craft glitter. Always use a glitter that is designed for the skin so that it's safe. If by chance the wind catches it and a little bit gets in their eyes, this is a very fine glitter, and it's made for skin and not craft glitter. So that's two different options if you want a specific spot, or if you want to press like the kitty has and put it all in the glitter. Now it's time to see.
Ah!
Yay!
I look like a pizza.
You look like a kitty cat. And what is Lillian?
A firefly.
Butterfly. Very good.
But me.
Another fast face is the puppy dog. I love the puppy dog, especially on little boys. It is adorable, and it takes a very short time to do. So there's a few different puppy dogs that I will show you. This one is where you just take the white and you make it around for the puppy. This child's eyes are closed the whole time. And then the brown, doesn't have to be the brown. You can actually have a blue puppy dog if they want blue. If a child doesn't know what they want, then I will ask them sometimes, oh, do you like Paw Patrol? Oh, they have lots of puppies on Paw Patrol. Would you like to be a puppy? So I like to tell them that I can make them look like a Paw Patrol, or look like Spider-Man, or look like the Hulk. I'm not painting them the Hulk, but I'm painting them lookalikes. There you go. And then, of course, you take your red for that adorable little tongue. Now, a mannequin is not the same as on the skin, even though it feels close to it. Whoops, close to it. It is a little bit different. So you'll notice that if you're practicing with a mannequin, it won't be exactly like the skin. You know what? I can hold this too. You don't have to hold it for me. If you'd like to, whoops, get up. And if this happens, if the child moves, then that's okay too, because you could always fix it by simply getting a little wet wipe or a paper towel, dip it in your water with your finger, and then just wipe it up. Very simple to fix. And then you can just get that little spot either with a brush or your sponge, and then it's fixed. So don't worry if there's a little bit that you want to change. You want to try to just fix it without even them realizing that maybe they moved and it messed it up. All right, let's get this right here. You just want to see, don't you?
Nice.
And some eyebrows. A couple different options for the eyebrows. You could just go straight across for the eyebrows like this. Or if you want to add a little bit of hairlines, you could bring it up, up, up. This one's a little dark. The paint is a little dark. Now, you notice this side over here is bigger than this side. And that's okay, because dogs, if you've watched dogs, dogs are not typically the exact same on both sides. If it bothers you, of course, you can fix it. But it really is okay, and the kids are perfectly fine with it. Sometimes you want to be a little bit more, then you can always add the brown and make it a little bit more even if it bugs you. But really, it will not bug the child. They'll be excited about it. And when you show them in the mirror, the one other option you can add for a little bit older child, start with the inside and just add a little bit of eyes, little lines up there. That's good. If you're going to add whiskers, you want to make sure your whiskers for your dog is very thin. So you don't want thick eye, you want really thin ones with a very tiny brush so they don't overpower the dog. Whiskers are optional. Sometimes we put them in, sometimes we don't. There you go, a very fast puppy face. Another option for a puppy dog is the Dalmatian. The Dalmatian is really cute. Just put a little bit of black. Make sure you have them close your eyes. If their eyes or if they're small, just kind of go around the eye. You don't have to go all the way to the eyelid if you have any concern that they may open their eyes, and then just go around this eye here. Give one little black eye. It doesn't have to be a complete circle. It can be more of a odd shape, and then add a few little shapes. There's lots of different size brushes. As you'll notice that I use the little bitty brushes. There's a filbert brush, and I'm not sure if another lecture is going over brushes and supplies, so I won't get into that too much. But if you have any questions, my website is aclownandmore.com. You can also email me at aclownandmore@yahoo.com. I'd be happy to help you answer questions. I also sell a lot of face painting supplies. I'm not going to reorder. I'm going out of that business, so the inventory that I have left is all that I will have left, other than what I'm keeping. So please give me a message, email me, Facebook me if you're interested in any of the supplies while they last. Then going around that tongue. And the eyebrow. And a little swish, 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 swish. And some little eyelashes. You can add any more details if you'd like. But that is a very quick, fast-paced puppy dog. Now we will do a crown. Girls love the princess crowns. So generally I'll ask them what color they'd like the crown. So let's say they like purple. I don't want to start with a dark purple, so I will make sure we add purple. And maybe I'll do a different color. So let's do the turquoise color to go with that. So I'll start with all the way across. This is a good one if they have their hair pulled back and their bangs are not in their forehead. If their bangs are in their forehead, you have to modify it a little bit. But if their bangs are pulled back, it works out really nice. You just make a triangle and then some smaller triangles. And then we'll get their favorite color and fill that in. Back and forth with the brush, and then if you roll it, it takes off any of the excess paint that may be on it, so it's not got a clunk on it. You can even add some circles to the top of it. If you want big circles, you can just roll the circles. If you want smaller circles, again, for the smaller circles. And there's so many different ways to make crowns. You don't have to make them the same for each time. You could do different ones. You can add some little diamonds here. It won't show up quite as much on this one. The other thing you could do is add that color again and do it in that color. You can use the end of the brush and do the dots with the end of the brush. You might have to roll your brush a little bit if you're doing that. So that's another option. Then to make it show up really good, you want to outline it. brings it out. Just make sure your outlining is not too thick. And this is a nice quick face. You can even add some blush if you'd like. Add a little paint on the lips if you prefer to use a Q-tip or something, but the Snazaroo face paint has an antibacterial in the paint, so it is safe to use. You want to make sure that you do not use craft paint on children for face painting. Craft paint is not FDA approved for the skin, so whatever paint you use, whether it's Snazaroo or whatever brand, you just want to make sure that it is FDA approved. Some are FDA approved for parts of the body, but not necessarily around the eyes. So just check.
Mama, did we do it this?
And then you can also add
Mama, did
even
we
a
do
little
it
bit.
this?
You can even add some more details if you'd like. You could add some eye makeup. So these are just different options depending on how much time you have. If you have a lot of time and you want to add more details, you want to add some lips, you want to add some eye makeup, you can add some eyelashes, which makes it look really pretty. So you could just bring it starting from the inside of the eye and bringing it out, starting from the inside and bringing it out. So that's a different option. There's lots of different color frames, different designs, but that's a very quick. And then ask them, of course. Generally, I won't even ask a crown. Almost always they like glitter. And I may say, glitter time. 1 out of 100 might say, oh, I don't want glitter. And it's usually because their parents don't want glitter in the car. It's not that they don't want glitter, they've been told. So you can either sprinkle it on like this. Woo! Or you can also use your other glitter and do just, if you wet your finger, stick your finger in the water, hold it nice and tight, and then you can get some on your finger and you can just do in a specific spot too. So there's different options on applying glitter. Just make sure that you put your lids on, because if the wind catches it, or if a child decides to play with your glitter while you're painting somebody else, it will be safe. So that's a quick, you could add a little bit of cheeks. If you want to add a little bit of cheeks, of course, that is not how you would add it. You would actually want to use like the glitter powder would be a good option. Unless you're trying to make her look like a clown princess, then that would actually work. So put some lips on that. And again, rather than the face paint cheeks, you would most likely want to use, unless you, yeah, I guess if you wipe it a little bit of it off so it's not quite so bright, that would work better for you. And there's a quick princess. Remember, when your paint gets a little dry, just use the mister and mist it with some water. That way you keep your brushes out of your dish of water. If you have a lot of brushes, they'll stay cleaner and your water will stay cleaner if you're misting it instead of dipping your brushes. Every once in a while I'll dip my brush in the water, but it's just a quick dip to get them to collect the water like this. It's not rinsing. So if I'm going to get a little tiny bit of water on this brush, I'm going to dip it and pick it up. I'm not taking it in and then I'm not swirling it around. That gets it wet without mixing the paint into the water. And then as my paint gets a little dry and I need a little bit moisture on my sponge, I moist the paint. And that keeps this water pretty clean the entire time I'm painting. Well, hello, Evelyn. Thank you for coming back. I'm going to have you scoot to the front of the chair. If you let them stay in the back of the chair, it'll hurt your back if you're like this all day. So if you ask the child to sit to the front of the chair, can you sit to the front of the chair for me, please? This way. Thank you so much. And then bring your back with you. There you go. Just like that. So Evelyn's going to be a unicorn. So we'll start with the brush for this one. and draw the unicorn's face. And then we'll let her choose what color mane this unicorn is going to have. Evelyn, what color mane would you like for the hair though?
My baby Daddy.
What color would you like for it to be? Pink? Okay.
Yeah. Pink is my baby Daddy, so I want
It is your
pink.
favorite color. Okay. So after you paint the initial part of the unicorn, which what I like to do is I like to go starting from the front of the horse's head, then I go up over for the forehead and make a couple ears, and then underneath here I'm going down, which is going to be the bottom jaw of the horse or the unicorn, and then here is the neck of the unicorn. So you got the front, the forehead, the ears, and the neck. So she wants pink, so I'll start with pink, give it a little bit of pink on the front here, and then I'm going to go swish, swish, swish. And she's got her eyes closed. You can also use a sponge for this and do the same thing with a sponge. So you have an option whether you use a brush or a sponge. Now I usually like to choose a color that would go with it.
Anyway, mostly these.
Mostly pink. Would you like blue or purple?
Purple.
Purple, okay. So then by giving them one other choice instead of asking them what else they want, sometimes it takes them a little bit longer to choose another one. So by giving them just two choices, do you want this or do you want that? That gives them a quicker answer than having to think about all the colors. Which color do I want? Yes, ma'am. Now I'm going to do the eye. So I'm going to put this right here and go up. Get some eyelashes there. And there's lots of ways to do unicorns. So you'll find which way works best for you. Which unicorn do you like the best? Give it a little nostril. And then I like to use yellow. That's just my preference for the horn. Yes. I'm going to give you a nice pretty horn on your unicorn. And then for the black around the unicorns, give it some ears here. Yes.
Why you really bad at the ear?
I'm going to go right around that horn and outline this horn. And just kind of go around like that. Then if you want to add just a little bit of white to highlight